Finally, my second prediction under this theory is about the prophecy. Based on my previous plant darkener theory, I believe Ralsei is a flower. In Undertale's pacifist ending, Flowey transforms from a flower into a goat monster. He originally planned to play endlessly with the protagonist, but after being persuaded, he gives up, his plan fails, he helps break the barrier, returns all the souls, loses his power, and turns back into a flower. If Deltarune is the inverse of Undertale, then doesn't that mean Ralsei transforms from a flower into a goat monster, and this time the plan succeeds, restoring balance between light and dark, and then he loses his power and turns back into a flower? Flowey and Ralsei hold opposite narrative positions in their respective stories, so their failure and success are also reversed, yet both end up returning to being a flower. It's kind of ironic. But speaking of narrative positions, Flowey is a villain for most of the story, and only gets redeemed at the very end of the pacifist route. So, if Undertale's pacifist route corresponds to Deltarune's weird route, could that mean Ralsei becomes the final boss of the weird route? Many theorists believe that the weird route moves closer to fulfilling the prophecy. So could the final prophecy be that Ralsei becomes the final boss, and the protagonists have to fight him? I've always been very bothered by what Susie says to Ralsei after the Gerson statue fight. We're doing it together, as a team, and nothing's gonna change that. That line feels like a flag to me. What if the final prophecy is that Ralsei absorbs all the overflowing darkness, and we must defeat or purify Ralsei to restore balance between light and dark? That would explain why Susie becomes furious, because in the very end, she's being told she has to fight her closest friend. She would find that prophecy ridiculous and refuse to let it happen. Why not sacrifice the other heroes, like some theorists suggest? Because after Susie sees the final prophecy, Ralsei says, "I'm sorry I didn't say the whole prophecy at first." Let me ask you this, if from the very start, someone told you, "Hey, you should become a hero, but you'll be sacrificed in the end," would anyone agree to that? Of course not. So, if telling the truth from the beginning was an option, then it definitely wouldn't be the first or second hero being sacrificed. But if the sacrifice was clearly stated from the start, and it wasn't yourself, then maybe someone would accept it. This also explains why Ralsei always believes he isn't important and shouldn't have personal desires, because he knows that in the end, he's meant to be sacrificed.